Okay, so now we are on the retirement project. So once again, we are going to create what's called a portfolio, a way for you to save for retirement. And we're going to be looking at just two different ways to save for retirement. Again, you want to have several different ways. I have four ways that I'm saving for retirement right now. We're going to look at just two. You're just going to follow along with this. You have this document ready to go in Google Classroom. I'm going to walk you through kind of each chunk, and you can kind of be following along, pausing the video as necessary and filling out your part. You'll submit this document into Classroom and you're all set. Might take you a bit longer this week. My last video was about a half hour, and this is probably going to be pretty close to there as well. So you might want to do this in chunks if you don't want to do all the work all at once. But let's start going through this. So you're going to be filling out your document with your information. I'm going to be working through an example, which shouldn't be the same as yours. So if you submit this exact example, you're not getting any points. So let's go ahead. You're going to put your name here at the top. Again, go ahead and pause this video whenever you need to so you can do what you need to in your document. So this is the portfolio for me, Tracy Holberg. And I'm going to pick the age I want to retire. It doesn't matter. Again, like I said, if you want to say 30, sure. You're going to find out how much money you would have to save every day, starting like tomorrow, until you retire at 30, in order to have enough money to rest you and to last you until you die. Yeah. Hint, hint, it's going to be a lot of money you're going to have to save. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and say 55. 55 is actually very young to retire. But because I started teaching at 22, I can actually retire with full benefits after 30 years of teaching. I'm going to go ahead and round up to 55. That would make me 52 when I could retire from teaching. I'll go ahead and say 55. You might want to be more realistic and say 65, 70, somewhere in that range. But it is totally your choice. You pick whatever age you want to pick. So going from here, for the purpose of the project, I am telling you when you die, because that is something you have to consider when you're planning for retirement. You're like, well, I'm going to live to be 100. That's a lot of money you got to save up. I'm giving you, this is actually, I just looked this up. I change it every single year because that data changes. This is actually the average age of death in America. Hey, guess what? Surprise, surprise. Men, you die younger than women on average. I wonder why. So if you're a guy, you're going to be using 80 for when you die. If you're a girl, you're going to be using 84 for when you die. Now, the upside to this, men, is that you don't have to save up as much money because you're going to live for 4 years less than a woman. So you won't have to save as much. So I chose the age I'm retiring at, and then I'm going to be using 84 for my average age of death because I'm a girl. Men, again, you'll be using 80. So what we're going to do first is we're going to figure out how much you have to save for retirement total. Now, this is kind of oversimplified. Of course, I can't make this super duper complicated in this short amount of time. But we are going to have a general idea of, based on when you want to retire and how old you are now, and how much money you want to have each year in retirement, we can figure out how much money you'll need to retire. So let's go ahead and do this. It says, first question, how many years until you retire? So you're doing this right here. Age of retirement minus the current age. So for me, I'm using my numbers. Please make sure you're using your numbers. This is just an example. Do not use my numbers. So I wanted to retire at 55, and my current age is 28. Yeah, I had my birthday right after spring break. So that's how many years I have left to save. Yeah, so 55 to 28, that's how many years I have to save for retirement. You guys will probably be doing something like something minus 17 or 18, right? Whatever your current age is. So age of retirement minus your current age. That's the math you're doing. So for me, my age of retirement is 55. I'm currently 28. That means I have 27 years left until I retire. So that's how long I have to save. The next step here is the number of years in retirement. So how many years do I have to pay for? Once I retire, how many years do I need to have saved up for? So once again, the math is right there. We have the age of death minus your age of retirement. And once again, you're using your numbers. So for me, because I am a female, my age of death is 84 for the purpose of the project. My age of retirement is 55. So once again, this is going to tell you how long you have in retirement while you're just sitting around and spending this money that you've saved. So you need to subtract your age of death minus the age you said you want to retire. So for me, that means I will have 29 years in retirement. So I need to save up enough money that I can live for 29 years without needing a job. That's the point of being able to retire. Can I live without needing a job? So what we're going to do here, we are going to, we got one more thing to add on here, and then I'll show you where you need to go for this. So I'm giving you this number. You're going to see this in this website we're going to. We're going to go to mycalculators.com, use this calculator, and it's going to do the math for us. So I'm giving you this number. We're going to put that in the calculator. I'm telling you for the purpose of the project that the inflation rate is 0%. And you guys have talked about inflation in economics, and you know about inflation, right? Back in the day, a soda was a nickel, and now it's like $1.25, right? That's inflation, prices going up. For the purpose of the project, we're going to ignore that because it kind of complicates things and makes our numbers bigger than what we need them to be for right now. So we're going to ignore that. I'm going to give you 0%. Now, the next thing here, this little asterisk, this is your choice. So it says, how much do you need to live on annually? Withdrawn at the beginning of the year. Don't worry too much about this. What this is how much money you want to have every single year in your retirement. Now, keep in mind that, again, when you retire, you want to have about the same standard of living as you have had. So if you're used to making $80,000 a year, you want to have about that much when you retire. You don't want to be used to making $80,000 a year and now suddenly you're being forced to live off only $30,000. So for me, I'm used to making about $50,000 right now. By the time I retire, it's going to be more. So I'm going to go ahead and say, though, I want to have $50,000 every year in my retirement. So again, that means that I need to save up $50,000 for every single year of my retirement. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and do this math in this calculator. So once you have this stuff filled out, we're going to go ahead and go here, mycalculators.com, this website right here. And we are going to go to the retirement calculators off to the side and then retirement savings. So retirement calculators and then retirement savings, you're going to click that. Once again, as always, please pause this video anytime you need to be following along with me. So here's this calculator you see. We found all this information. We're just going to put it in and it's going to spit out how much money you would need to save total for your retirement. So I'm going to go ahead and copy my numbers over. I got 27, 29, 27, 29. I gave you 6%. Yes. So everybody will type 6%. I gave you the inflation rate is 0 for the purpose of the project. Right here is where you're putting how much you need to live on. That was your choice. Whoops, I put one too many zeros. That was your choice. So whatever you put there, go ahead and make sure that you hit the correct number of zeros, because I didn't again. There we go, 50,000. And then this last box, this is kind of your choice, but most people just leave it blank. It says, do you want to have any money left? What that means is, do you want to have money left over after you die? as like an inheritance, as to give to your family. You can just leave it blank. But once you go ahead and fill that stuff out, you're going to go ahead and click View Schedule. And this number right here, is how much money you would need to have saved. Now, again, because of inflation, it doesn't actually look like that much. It's really not. Because I'm saying there's no inflation. You might need more money if it is with inflation. So that's your answer, whatever the number is in red. Again, your number should be different. I should not see these exact numbers submitted in your project. But that's going to go right here. So we have, where'd it go? 720,308. 720,308. And how many pennies? 0.21. So that's how much money I have to have saved up by the time I retire. So from here, pointing out a couple things. Again, you want to make sure you're following along as you do the project. Notice these little shapes off to the side. I try to make this pretty clear for where information goes. Anywhere you see the same shape, that's going to be the same number. So if you notice, I got a green square here and a green square here. That means this number is going to go on that line as well. And you'll see that more on the last page. There's a lot of shapes there. The last section is a summary. So you're basically recopying some of the information back down so you can kind of see, okay, here are the important details I found in this project. So let's go from here. That is how much money I need to have saved up. So what we need to do from here now is figure out how are we going to go about doing that. So let's go ahead and look at the Social Security benefits section. This one's going to be kind of tricky. Again, this formula is a lesson I would have taught, and you would have had a lot of opportunity to practice it. So I recommend if you're having a hard time following along with it, watch my video, again, on the retirement notes, and hopefully you're okay with it. You can always email me as well, and I can help you work through the math on this. So let's go ahead and keep going. We have 50,000 is green square, so 50,000 is green square. Whatever was your green square, that's going to go there. And again, it was your choice. You could have said $100,000. You could have said $200,000, whatever, yeah? It's how much money you want to have every single year in retirement. So from here, now we're going to calculate the monthly income. This is the annual income, so you should know this. To go from a year to a month, we need to divide by 12. So this is how much money I'm going to have every month. So we're going to use whatever number you got right here. Again, that was year divided by 12 to get to there. You're going to use this money to do these calculations. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. You can just do the math yourself on the side. I'm going to do the math on a slide here so you guys can see what it is. So if you recall from the video, I made this little pile here, this little stack. My stack of dollars is 4166.67. There's my stack of dollars. This is going to get split up, and then I'm going to get different percentages of each pile. So let's go ahead and split this up. You're doing this same math. Your number up here is probably different, right? Because it's based off of whatever number you had here. So we have, I got the time, I think. I got a meeting at 2. I think I can finish this. Anyways, sorry, going on. So here's our chunks. We have 680, between 680 and 4100, and above 4100. So let me go ahead and section off my little chart here into those 3 chunks. Got 680, I've got 4100, and I have above 4100, and that's that little piece at the top. Your next step is to figure out how much money is in each of these piles. So the first pile is always just 680, right? From 0 to 680. Our next pile, we're going to subtract these 2 numbers to find out how much is in between them. In between is a subtraction thing, which ends up being 3420. And then I'm going to subtract these two numbers to find out how much is in between them as well, which isn't a lot. Only $66.67. Now, I might need to help you with this. If you end up making less than $4,100 per month, your chart's going to look different because you're not above 4,100. You're only 680 to some other number. If you don't even reach 4,100, then you don't got to worry about it. So let me know if you come up with an income that's less than 4,100. Your math is going to look a little bit differently, and you might want to shoot me an email if you're going to be confused with that. So from here, here's my piles of money. These piles have different percents. So the 680, we're taking 90% of that. Then we have 32% of the next pile and 15% of the pile after that. So 90%, 32%, and 15%. So I'm going to go ahead and do this math real quick. You can go ahead and do your math as well for your problem, because again, this top number is probably going to be different for you because you probably made a different amount of money each month. So this top number here is probably going to be different. So this gives me 612, 3,420 times 0.32. This gives me 1,094.40. And this last one gives me $10. So I'm going to go ahead and add these three numbers together. We've got 10 plus 1094.40 plus 612. So from Social Security, I would be getting $7.16.40 each month. So every month, that's what I'd be getting from Social Security. Let's go ahead and look back to the project. So it says possible Social Security benefit per month. What was it again? 1716.40. Your answer should be different because you probably chose something different than 50,000. You kind of better have chosen something different than 50,000 because I want your project to be different than mine. This is just an example. I'm going to keep emphasizing that. If you copy this entire thing down and submit it, you will not get any points. You need to use your own numbers. This is just an example. So that's how much money I'll be getting from Social Security. So what we're going to do now is we're going to figure out if you get that much money each month from Social Security, how much would you get from them total during your entire retirement? So right here, total Social Security benefit for entire retirement. So here's the math you got to do. Your monthly benefit, which is right there, times 12 times the number of years in retirement. Again, we're trying to figure out how much money you'd be getting over your entire retirement. So look back up here. Right there, number of years of retirement. For me, it's 29. Yours might be different. So whatever number you have there, that's how many years you have in retirement. So for me, I'm going to take my monthly benefit, 1716, times it by 12, times it by, it was 29 for me, I believe, right? Yes. For you, it's probably going to be different. So make sure you understand what numbers you should be using and do not use my numbers. So 1716 is my monthly benefit, multiplied by 12, multiplied by number of years in retirement, and for me that was 29. Yours is going to be different. So I'm going to get from Social Security 597, oops, how many dollar signs? 597, comma 307.20 cents. That is how much money I will get from Social Security for my entire retirement. That's actually pretty decent for me because I only need to have saved up $720,000. And Social Security is going to give me a good chunk of that. So I actually don't have that much left to save up. You guys might have more, it's possible, that you might need to save. So let's go ahead and keep it going from here. So notice triangle, star, it's referencing these shapes down here. So purple arrow, what we're going to find next is how much you have left to save. Because again, I need $720,000. Social Security is only giving me $597,000. So I have a little bit more that I need to save up myself. So we're going to figure out real quick here how much is left to save. So what that is how much total you needed to retire minus what Social Security is giving you. So that is star minus triangle, star minus triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. I had my star number was 720.308.21 minus triangle 597,307.20. This is how much money I have left over that I'm going to have to save up myself. So I have to save up 123,001.01. Your numbers, I'm going to keep saying this, should be different. They should not be the same, right? Use this example to do the project on your own with your own numbers. Okay, so that is how much money I have left to save. So what we're going to do now is we are going to do a Roth IRA. There's different types of IRAs, which again are individual retirement accounts. Not super important for you to understand right now. Once you start saving for retirement, a financial advisor can help explain them. So we're doing what's called a Roth IRA. There is also something called a traditional IRA. Again, doesn't matter for the purpose of the project. But it's going to be a savings account that will give you a lot more interest than just a plain old bank savings account, which could be like 0.01% interest versus 6% interest or even more. So we are going to go back to this calculator, mycalculators.com. We're going to go to the savings and investment calculator. So let's go back to that website. Savings calculators off to the side, savings and investment. Okay, so we have this calculator here. Now again, I really recommend you pause this video as needed because we're gonna have to use this one a little bit differently. So make sure you're putting the information into the right spots. So let's go ahead and get some of this stuff figured out here so we can put it in the calculator. It says how many years to invest. So what that means is if you were to start today at your current age, up to when you retire, you have that much time to save. So to do that, you're going to take your age of retirement, which again, up there at the top, whatever number you chose, probably different than 55. Age of retirement minus your current age. This is how many years you have to save money. So I'm retiring at 55 and I am currently 28. This means I have 27 years. Again, 55 is when I want to retire. I'm 28. I have 27 years to save up money. Now, again, this isn't actually super accurate for me because I've been saving for my retirement since I was 20. So I actually have been saving for longer than this. But for your project, again, you're going to take age of retirement, whatever you said, minus your current age, probably 17, 18, maybe 19 for some of you guys. That's how long you have to save. So 27. I'm giving you the interest rate. Now notice this is in bold here. It says contributions made monthly. This is what we're going to actually get as our final answer, but it's not the last thing in the calculator. It's actually like second from the bottom in the calculator. So skip this for right now and come down here to the future value of the account. Now, the future value of your savings account should be how much more you need to save. Again, Social Security gave us a big chunk of it. We want our IRA to give us the rest. So, hey, look, purple arrow, that number is going to go down here. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's take this information over to the calculator. So present value, go ahead and put 0 there because that's how much you're starting with, and we're saying that you're starting from scratch. So you have no money in this account right now. Number of years to save, that's the first thing here. So whatever answer you got there, that's going to go here. Interest rate, I'm telling you, is 6%. Everybody will use 6%. Contributions or withdrawals are going to be made monthly. And we are going to leave this blank for right now. This is actually going to be our answer. We're going to skip it for right now and fill out the bottom line. So the bottom line is how much money, once again, we have left over that we need to save. So 123,001. Your numbers should be different again. So what we're going to do from here is I'm going to click this button, deposit, and it is going to tell me how much money I have to save each month in order to reach this goal. Yeah, so go ahead and click deposit. That's how much money I will need to deposit every single month to reach my goal by the time I have retired. So 156.64. That's what goes here now. So that's our answer in the bolded line. 156 point, what was my answer? 64. Your answer should be different. Thank you. But we're actually done. All we have to do now is copy down the important information we found about our retirement portfolio, and you're done with the project. So we have green square, blue star, red triangle, yellow circle. You're just going to copy those numbers down. So the first thing we found, or we decided at least, was how much we want to live on each year in retirement. Because again, that's a very important thing you have to look at to figure out how much money you need total. Well, how much money did you want each year? So green square, I'm copying $50,000 down. You're copying down whatever your green square was. We have blue star. There's my blue star. So this was how much money we needed total to retire. So 720, 308.21. Then I have red triangle. So this is the total money then we're getting from Social Security. We need this much money total, but Social Security is going to give us some of it. So red triangle, that's going to get copied down. 597, 307.20. 597, 307.20. And then lastly, we're going to say, okay, if Social Security will give me some money, what do I need to save each month in order to save up the rest? Yellow circle, that's going to get copied down there. And you're done. Once you have that filled out, that's your retirement project. I hope that makes sense. Again, it is really weird for me since I've done chunk videos for so long now to do this all at once. I hope you're not just like spacing out at this long video. But I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a taste of retirement. Looking at the Excel spreadsheet that you guys filled out for last week's interviews, a lot of the people you interviewed didn't have retirement accounts, right? Because it's just not a thing people worry about. They're like, oh, that's so far in the future, I don't even need to think about it. But when you get there, you realize you're kind of screwed if you never planned for this your entire life. So if you start young, you don't have to save a lot of money. You guys might see that your monthly contribution is pretty small. Well, $156 really isn't that bad. And actually, my number would be smaller if I had used the actual age that I started saving for retirement, because I started saving at 20. So if I had used that I was 20 years old as my current age, this would be an even smaller number, and that's totally reasonable. If you wait until you're 50 years old, where you're like, getting close, I better start saving for retirement, you're going to have to put away a lot of money, and it's not going to be feasible. It's not going to be possible. So if anything else, guys, I hope you understand that you need to think for your future, and sooner rather than later, you need to think about your future. So please, as always, email me. I can make additional videos talking you through something. I can help you with the math, especially for this chunk. I know it's kind of confusing. I'm going to give you guys, really for any assignment, you have the whole rest of the year to get it turned in. But if this takes you a little bit longer, that's okay. As long as you get it turned in, you're fine.